still or I start coughing, I cannot control myself, especially when a rather large snake is in order. Chishiro the Shattered Blade. 4 mana, 4/4 snake samurai. Whenever an aura or equipment enters the battlefield under your control, create a 2/2 red spirit creature token with menace. Ooh, loads of little spirits knocking around. At the beginning of your end step, put a 1/1 counter on each modified creature you control. Equipment, auras you control, and counters are modifications. So if any of them are on a creature, we're going to get that buff at the end of turn, get that additional 1/1 counter, grow the team. And that includes our commander. So we can keep growing our commander, keep buffing up our snake. Really, really slithery and sneaky. Really, really cool. And it's nice to see it. It's actually quite an interesting build around commander, especially for a precon. And there's quite a few interesting directions that you can take it in. Making lots of little spirits is really good, but then you're concentrating on equipments and, and auras. So they only buff one thing. It's an interesting sort of interplay to play around with. And, it's quite good. I like the whole thing, who doesn't like a big snake? Anyway, before we go on, why don't you subscribe to my channel? Lots of big snakes going around there. We're going to be making videos like this for every single legendary creature, so come and join me on the journey. It's surprisingly good. And without further ado, let's move on to number 5. So in at number 5, well, what do we have here? We've got Wild Growth, because it only cares about auras entering the battlefield. So let's use our ramp, which we're going to play anyway. Everyone needs to play some ramp. Let's take advantage of it and make some lovely spirits. Wild Growth is a single green for an enchantment aura, enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional green. So it's doubling the mana that land will take if, we're playing an elf or something that can untap a land. Well, it's going to quadruple the mana. Whoa, absolutely insane. But this is fantastic to play. Overgrowth is very similar. 3 mana for an aura enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional double green. So that land is now tapping for 3, and we are just accelerating out the gate. And if our commander's on the field, we've got a lovely spirit buddy to go along with it. Very, very nice, and a good use of our commander. Then there's Fertile Ground, 2 mana aura, enchant land. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its control adds an additional 1 mana of any colour. So this is nice for fixing if we've only got green. Well, now this can tap for a red and a green. Ooh, incredible. Really, really nice. Accelerates us into the late game. And then this is, well, it's sort of the same. It's the same idea. It's using auras in an interesting way. Song of the Dryads, 3 mana for an enchantment aura. Enchant permanent, anything. Enchanted permanent is a colourless forest land. Absolutely phenomenal removal. Put it on a commander, maybe not your own. I'd say, yeah, don't put it on your own. Put it on someone else's, and the commander's just a land. Just knocking around, tapping for mana. Can't attack, can't activate its abilities unless they have enchantment removal. Phenomenal, and we're going to get a lovely spirit buddy to go along with it. And then let's have a look at number 4, because we talked about a couple of auras. This is a sort of very interesting card that I found while I was looking into this deck, and it's because we're making spirits. Clash of Realities is a 4 mana enchantment, and I'm not surprised if you've never seen this card in your life. All spirits have, when this creature comes into play, you may have it deal 3 damage to target non-spirit creature. All non-spirit creatures have, when this creature comes into play, you may have it deal 3 damage to target spirit. So we're going to be making a boatload of spirits, through quite a few cards that we're going to talk about in a bit. When each of them comes in, we're going to be dealing 3 to something. And okay, sure, our opponents are going to play a creature and bolt one of our spirits, but it's just a token. Who really cares? We're going to be wiping the board every single time, churning out enchantments and auras and all that sort of gubbins, and our opponents can't do much about it. It's amazing. It's so, so good and fits this deck so perfectly. I love it. I love it. And the really cool thing is, if we keep modifying our creatures, all of our spirits getting +1/+1 counters, if it becomes a 4/4, well, now they can't bolt it, but we can easily get multiple spirits at a turn, triple bolt something. we can go absolutely ham. And this is all about spirits, this section. Life Spinner, 4 mana for a 3/3 spirit. Tap, sacrifice 3 spirits. Search your library for a legendary spirit card and put it into play. Then shuffle your library. Getting 3 spirits is not that hard because they're just tokens. So we can sacrifice it and maybe get Seki Season's Guide. 8 mana, 0/0 spirit, legendary. Comes into play with 8 1/1 counters on it, so it's already modified itself. If damage would be dealt to Seki, prevent that damage, remove that many 1/1 counters from Seki, and put that many 1/1 color spirit creature tokens into play. More spirits flying everywhere and bolting things. It's lunacy. And you can sacrifice 8 spirits to return Seki from your graveyard to play. It just does everything you want it to do. This commander, it just loves Seki. I love this card. I once made a commander deck out of it. And it played Desert, the land that you tap to deal 1 damage to an attacking creature. So you can attack in, ping it for 1, and get a token. I've got a lot better at building decks, I won't deny it. But another sort of big legendary spirit you could search for is Kodama of the Center Tree. 5 mana for a star spirit. Kodama of the Center Tree's power and toughness are each equal to the number of spirits you control. We're going to have a boatload of spirits knocking around. And it has Soul Shift X, where X is the number of spirits you control. So say we've got 10. Well, Soul Shift 10 means that when this dies, we can return a spirit from our graveyard to hand with CMC 10 or less. So we're going to rebuy something really, really nice scaling spirit. It's just great. It fits perfectly in the deck. Then Blood Age General is a new spirit. It's 2 mana 2/2 Spirit Warrior. Tap, attacking spirits get +1/+0 until end of turn. And the spirits that we're generating have menace, so we're going to want to attack with them, and they're going to be 3/2s. Ooh, incredible. But it's a nice little spirit that fits with the style of the deck. Then another card you've probably never seen because it's trash, but it works well here. Devouring Rage. 5 mana. Look at that guy's head. He's almost as bald as I am. As an additional cost to play Devouring Rage, you may sacrifice any number of spirits. You can have a lot of spirits. Target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. For each spirit sacrificed this way, that creature gets an additional +3/+0 until end of turn. So we've attacked him with all of our menacey sort of jobbies. Spirits, not jobbies. I don't know what jobby is. But we've attacked in. It's not been blocked, or one of them's not been blocked. We sacrifice all the rest of them. We've got lethal damage straight away. And it's an arcane spell, so Long Forgotten Gohei works wonderfully. 3 mana, artifact, arcane spells you cast cost 1 less to cast. I'll be honest, it's probably only going to be that one we're going to play, but spirit creatures you control get +1/+1, so all of our 2/2s are 3/3s. Incredible. Absolutely wonderful. Which brings me on to number 3. And at number 3, we've got Arcbound Reclaimer, taking a slightly different direction here. This is more if you're going for the equipment style of deck. 4 mana for a golem. Remove a 1/1 counter from Arcbound Reclaimer. Put target artifact card from your graveyard on top of your library. Modular 2, which means it comes in with 2 1/1 counters. It's already modified, so at the end of turn it'll get an additional counter, and you can rebuy any of your equipments that have been destroyed, or maybe milled, or something like that. This is such a cool card to put in, and just using that 1/1 counter that you're going to put on all your modified creatures, it's great. Other ways to use those counters are the Sting Moggy. I love that artwork. I love how pastoral it is. 4 mana for a 0/0. Wow. Comes into play with 2 1/1 counters on it. You can pay 4, remove a 1/1 counter, destroy target artifacts, or land. I think we know what we're targeting. It's definitely going to be lands, isn't it? Just blow them up. And at the end step, we're going to get an additional counter. So yes, it's very mana intensive, but we can just go around blowing up tons of lands. Hey, everyone loves it. Fertilid, the opposite for us. 3 mana, 0/0, enters the battlefield. 2 1/1 counters. Pay 2, remove a 1/1 counter. Target player searches their library for a basic land. Puts it onto the battlefield tapped and shuffles their library. We could target our opponent. We're not going to, though, are we? I hate my friends. We're going to be just ramping ourselves, and if we keep it around with 1 counter at the end step, get another land, bing bang bosh, thank you, good night. Crystalline Crawler, it's a very similar sort of card. 4 mana, 1/1. Converge, so it enters the battlefield with X, 1/1 counter on it for each colour of mana spent to cast it. So I suppose you could reword it to be X. Nah. Anyway, remove a 1/1 counter from it, add 1 mana of any colour. Tap, put a 1/1 counter on Crystalline Crawler. So it generates its own 1/1 counters and we can remove them for mana. But because it's modified itself, we can get those counters on at the end step. Then Fractal Harness is good on a couple of different ways here. 3 mana and X for an equipment. It enters the battlefield, create a 0/0 green and blue fractal creature token where X put X 1/1 counters on it and attach Fractal Harness to it. Whenever a quick creature attacks, double the number of 1/1 counters on it. So, not only is it an equipment, so it's going to get us a lovely little spirit, it's creating a token that is modified, so it's going to get the 1/1 counters on it afterwards, and then it's doubling 1/1 counters. It just does everything this deck wants to do. It's amazing. Strap this onto your commander and just go to town. Then a good couple of ways to get 1/1 counters onto everything, because we want to modify every single thing that enters, including all of our tokens. Bloodsport Thrynax is a 4-mana 2/2 lizard with Devour 1. So when it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with that many 1/1 counters on it. Ooh. Sacrifice all our spirits. Goodbye, lads, you've served me well. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional X 1/1 counters on it, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on Bloodsport Thrynax. Say we sacrifice 5, well, everything's going to come in with 5 1/1 counters on it. All those new spirits that we're making from all the enchantments and all the artifacts, well, they're going to be rather modified. Then Grumgully the Generous is a nice little way of doing this. 3 mana 3/3 Goblin Shaman. Each other non-human creature, none of you humans, control enter the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on it. So just a good way of starting off the modification train. All of those spirits enter as 3/3s, end step become 4/4s. Whoa, that's pretty good. And that takes me on to number 2. At number 2, we've got Bloodforged Battle Axe. So the way our commander is worded, it only cares about equipments and enchantments entering the battlefield. You don't have to cast them. So, Bloodforged Battle Axe, 1 mana for an equipment. A quick creature gets +2/+0, and equip for 2. Whenever a quick creature deals combat damage to a player, create a token that's a copy of Bloodforged Battle Axe. So that will be an equipment entering the battlefield, triggering our commander to make a spirit. So you can see, maybe if you end up with 8 of these, which makes 8 more, well, you're going to get 8 spirits along with them. That's pretty goddamn good. It's just phenomenal and works exceptionally in this deck. And while we're talking about tokens, Mirrorworks is a great way of doubling your equipment. 5 mana artifact. Whenever another non-token artifact enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 2. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that artifact. So all those equipments you're playing, well, you're going to get 2 of them. You're going to get 2 spirit creature tokens. Oh, just works fantastically. 2 soul rings. Why not? Bing bang bush. Need to stop saying that. Doubling Season. 5 mana for an enchantment. If an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many tokens instead. Great, more spirits. And if an effect will put 1 or more counters on a permanent you control, it puts twice of that many counters on that permanent instead. Hey, it's our commander. It does everything our commander wants to do. Excellent card. Sadly, very expensive. Just proxy it. Who really cares? Second Harvest, 4 mana for an instant. For each token you control, create a token that's a copy of that permanent. It's pretty good, isn't it? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And that brings me on to number 1. So at number 1, what have we got? We've got Whipsilk. 1 green for an enchant creature. Enchanted creature may block as though it had reach. No, flying. It gives it reach. I became confused. So, enchanted creature has reach. Okay. Pay a green. Return Whipsilk to its owner's hand. And that's why this is my number 1. It just generates so many tokens. Single green, it comes in, you make a spirit token. A single green comes back out, single green. Just keep casting it over and over again. Amazing. And if you want to go even further with that sort of style of deck, you can put all of the enchantresses into this deck. So if you're going really into the sort of enchantment side, enchantresses are creatures, usually 3 mana or 2 mana. Whenever you cast a enchantment card, draw a card. So with this, we're just going to be drawing boatloads of cards. Then Gitu Fire Breathing is a very similar card. 2 mana for a flash aura. so you can cast it at any time. Pay a red, enchanted creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So that could potentially win you the game if you slap it onto your commander. But then you can pay a red to return it to its owner's hand. Hey, back out we go. And then you can cast it again at flash speed. It's phenomenal. You're just going to get so many triggers. Then we've got the Seedling Charm. Never seen this card until I looked into this commander. 1 green, choose 1. Return target creature enchantment to its owner's hand. Aura. Bounce an aura back to your hand. Hey! Or regenerate target green creature. That's actually pretty good. For board wipes coming for our commander, we can regenerate it just for a single green. Or target creature gains trample until end of turn. Again, that's actually really quite good if we built up a massive equipped creature. They're blocking with a 1/1, we can get in for lethal damage. This card does everything we want. Then there's Cloudstone Curio, 3 mana artifact. Whenever a non-artifact permanent comes into play under your control, you may return another permanent you control that shares a permanent type with it to its owner's hand. So, really good, because all of our auras, they come in, bounce another one out. Cast this, bounce out. Just keep going over and over, making tons and tons of spirit. Really powerful card. Sadly expensive, but it's amazing in the deck. Then here are a couple of other good auras. Well, this first one, good, is stretching it a bit. It's Genji of the Spires. 1 red for an aura enchant mountain. Pay 2, enchanted mountain becomes a 6/1 red spirit, creature until end of turn. It's still a land. Whenever enchanted mountain is put into your graveyard, you may return Genji of the Spires from your graveyard to your hand. So, it dodges board wipes, which is good. You have to pay mana every time to activate it, which if you didn't know is probably quite bad. But it's a cool aura. It's only a single red, gets you a spirit straight away. It's a spirit itself, so it works with all the spirit tribal things we've got going on. Really cool card and fits in the deck. Then a classic is Rancor, 1 green for an aura. Enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and has trample. Whenever Rancor is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, return Rancor to its owner's hand. So, you know, if we sacrifice the creature or it just dies in combat, we get it back, we cast it again, get another spirit. Hey! Then Aspect of the Mongoose, very similar card. 2 mana for an aura. Enchanted creature can't be the target of spells or abilities. So, Shroud. And when it is put into a graveyard from play, return Aspect of the Mongoose to its owner's hand. So great for putting on your commander to really protect her. Or him, I can't remember what it is. But those are my top 5 for this commander. Seems really quite cool, and for a pre-con, there's a lot of different ways that you can go with it. I like it. Very powerful card. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you soon. Bye.